Later, he called me and said, I'm going to issue an executive order. I think it's wrong. I think if people can't vote, then there's something wrong about that. I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans or Floridians, and I want them to vote. You work every day to get people out to vote.
Absolutely.
When you have somebody, and his own party was extremely angry with him, extremely angry, but he didn't care. And I'll tell you something, you want to look at the definition of courage, it's doing something that people get mad at you about, but he did it because he cared more about that office and more about everybody than he did about some political shenanigans. And I really respected that, and I know we all appreciated that. And thank you. And that was the kind of executive orders you can expect from this.
You mentioned your critics earlier. Some of them were calling this first day of fairness and attempt to mandate policy with the pen, saying that this is overstepping your boundaries. I know that you touched on that earlier, but you address specifically that.
Sure. Well, they've called it unacceptable for me to have the audacity, good word, I think, to say that we want to have fundamental fairness restored to the state of Florida, whether somebody is gay, a woman, not getting minimum wage yet, or whatever it might be. And the fact that they think that that is unacceptable is just stunning to me. And it's not, you just had Dan tell you about an executive order that I signed that had a lot of authority to it. Nobody challenged it. And only these 5 white guys in the Republican Party are saying that this is unacceptable. They're unacceptable. They're unacceptable.
I want to thank you.
Thank you for asking.
I want to thank you not only as an Obama maniac in 08 that knows what happened with those early voting and why Florida turned blue, but right now I want to thank you because no matter what crap is being thrown your way by Democrats or Republicans, you are maintaining a dignified and high-level campaign. And that makes me proud.
It makes me proud of our fellow Floridians that in spite of all that stuff, we're ahead.
Right.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So God bless Florida. George.
You were governor before. How come you didn't do an LGBT executive order or any of these other executive orders back then when you were in office for 4 years?
Because the older I get, the smarter I get. To that point, it's a fair question, George. It really is. But, I just turned 58 last week. And thank you very much. And it's true, the convergence of at least a decent mind and some experience, I think they call wisdom. And the older I get, the wiser I get. Because I keep listening, and I keep learning, and I keep studying, and my heart gets bigger every day. And it's for me. Yes.
It might be a silly question, but can
There are no silly questions.
these executive orders can they be overturned? Or
No.
No.
They cannot. They can be challenged.
That's what makes them so mad.
That's why they're You're right. It was interesting, when Dan and I were on the phone call, he was on it longer than I thought he was. What was happening during that part of the conversation, I was asking my general counsel in the governor's office whether or not I had the authority to do what Dan was asking me to do and what I thought was the right thing to do. And my general counsel said, Governor, I don't think you do have the authority. He didn't use the word unacceptable. He said, I don't think you have the authority. And I said, well, let's talk about it. Why do you feel that way? He said, well, the law in Florida says that in order for you to sign an executive order like that, there has to be some kind of an emergency. I said, okay. Well, let's talk about that. I said, we live in a democracy, right? He said, yes, sir, we do. And I said, my friend Dan has called me about the fact that in our democracy, people are not being able to exercise their right to vote. Right? I said, yes, that's true. I said, to my way of thinking, that's an emergency. That's an emergency. And I said, go draft the order. I'm going to sign it and have it back on my desk in an hour. And we did. And we expanded early voting right away. Keep doing it. You're gonna have one more shot to do it. Bless you. Thank you very much.
Hello.